What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
It has now gone final on the home of the Southeastern Conference Championship game, and England survives. They will now head to Mexico City to take on Mexico in the round of 16, a hard-fought match against the Congo. Congo had the lead up until about the 70-minute mark, but England takes care of business.
We were just looking at a free kick that the Congo had right before time had expired, and Pat, you asked a question. I didn't know. It was a good pickup by you. Why was the English player behind the wall of defenders that were standing there, protecting their jewels? Why was he laying down on the ground behind them? And that's for the lower shots to make sure he's just forming a barrier.
Another wall. So when they jump up,
exactly.
If they went underneath them jumping up, then that's the okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen that before.
No. A lot of text rolling in, 205-834-9450. A little bit on the World Cup, but a lot of it had to do with not only SEC. Mike, who joined us, he gave us his outlooks right now for the SEC football season, but also the recruiting news and Don with a phone call. Auburn picks up another commitment, a 4-star edge defender, and it is MJ Evans out of Spain Park High School officially, but he's the 25th commitment to Alex Golish. Recruiting rankings, Pat, you said you saw one as high as now Auburn.
It's 10th? Yeah, 247.
So 10th there. So that continues, and maybe getting another announcement or a commitment before it's all said and done today. So we'll keep you updated there.
And earlier in the show, if you were tuned in, we were telling you a live situation that was developing on top of the Empire State Building in which two climbers climbed all the way up above the observation deck, up on the radio tower, the big sphere that's on top of the Empire State Building. And it appeared that the man had asked the woman to marry him. And Variety is reporting they're now in police custody, by the way. Nobody fell. Nobody got hurt. That it's a couple from Netflix's Skywalker's doc. They're the ones that climbed up there and got engaged. And you have seen a documentary, I think, on them, right?
Yes, I believe I have. And because that's who I told you I thought before they were unmasked, I thought that it was.
It was Ivan Vanya Berkus and Angela Nicolau, stars of the Netflix 2024 documentary Skywalkers, A Love Story.
Yeah. And it's a good documentary. I hate that now we have to use first responder resources or however we did it. Did they climb down themselves, or did we have to actually send somebody up there to tell them to come down?
It says they were on top of the Empire State Building for about a half an hour, waving a giant flag that read, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace."
Huey Lewis. That's not Huey Lewis, but Power of Love.
Well, it's a curious
song.
thing.
Yeah. And another man. Okay, good. So how long of a jail term does that get you in New York City?
Sure, that's a pretty hefty fine, too.
You think they're out by dinner time? By supper?
I don't know. They might spend the weekend, the 4th of July holiday weekend there.
You think they let them stay together in a cell? Or probably not.
Hey, I just saw this. Ticket prices for tonight's USA Bosnia have dropped 57%. Me and you get on a plane. Can we get there in time?
Why have they dropped so much? Pulisic not playing? Are we going the lineup we had against Turkey, eh?
So right now the get-in price is $1,369. It was $3,150.
Yeah.
Would you pay $1,369 to watch Bosnia and the United States play soccer in the round of 32?
I mean, that seems like a pretty good deal compared to the other.
Yeah. If it was my only opportunity, yeah, I'd probably do it. It goes.
And you feel good we're going to win based on the odds.
Because I still haven't seen us play Olympic soccer. I've never seen an Olympic event. It's something I got to do. We get the Winter Olympics over here. I'm doing it. LA in 28, right?
Yep.
Could find an event to go to. Aren't we going to have stuff in Denver?
You got stuff in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Okay.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
Oh, that's easy.
You could get there.
Yeah, get to the Roy Rogers Airport.
So, we were talking about earlier, today being July 1st. There are so many things that have taken place on July 1st. Let's talk about just today's July 1st. You got South Carolina, now a Nike school, brand new uniforms. Georgia Tech is now an Under Armour school. They got brand new uniforms. Looks very sharp. I think it's a huge upgrade for them. Also on this date, you have a situation in which the Pac-12 now have 8 schools that they are playing football as they have been reborn, the Pac-12. La Tech is now a member of the Sun Belt Conference. North Dakota State is now an FBS school. They're a member of the Mountain West. UTEP leaves Conference USA. They're now part of the Mountain West. Sacramento State is now an FBS school. They're a member of the MAC. But if you want to go back in history, on this day, July 1st, a lot of things have happened. When you sit here and you look at all the things that have taken place, in 1859, Conrad, you need to remember this, what I'm about to tell you. The first intercollegiate college baseball game took place.
Rutgers and Princeton.
It was Amherst against Williams.
Close.
Amherst beat Williams 66-32 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. That was the first ever intercollegiate baseball game.
Okay.
They beat them what?
66-32.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, the poor ERA of the pitchers for Williams. That gave up 66 runs.
They were going like upward rules.
In 1903, the Tour de France. How about that? First time ever.
France.
I know, I say France.
Thank you, Lance.
1904, the modern Summer Olympics began. The first ever Olympics, they were held in the United States. Would you like to guess the city?
The first ever Olympics that were held in the United States, it was not Lake Placid. It was actually Tahoe.
Salt Lake? I don't know.
It was held in St. Louis, Missouri.
Squaw Valley, Tahoe. St. Louis. Oh.
In 1904, St. Louis was the 4th largest city in the United States. New York City, Philadelphia, Chicago, then St. Louis. St. Louis was bigger than Boston and Baltimore. Then in 1910, and this has a great local tie-in, Chicago's Comiskey Park opened up, and Rickwood Field was directly modeled after Comiskey Park.
I remember watching games on TV.
Yeah, from
who was it?
Comiskey.
Hawk.
Yeah.
And put it on the board. Yeah.
Oh, before that, it was Harry Carey.
And then Harry Carey.
Harry Carey did
been,
Chicago White Sox games before he went across town and did the Cubs. So, 1910, the first game ever at Chicago's Comiskey Park. And if you go to Rickwood, and if you're familiar with the old Comiskey like me and Landrum are, man, very similar. Very, very similar. So a lot of things happen on this day, July 1st.
A lot of things happen on this show every single day, and a lot of them include your text, your interaction. We love it. 205-834-9450. Jason says, you were correct, Landrum. Huey Lewis in the News did sing The Power of Love, was the first song in Back to the Future when Marty's hanging on the automobile bumpers, getting around on his skateboard. Yep.
I remember watching an interview with Huey Lewis because that was one of their bigger hits. And he said that, he was contacted about doing a song for the movie. And he really didn't want to be a part of it because he figured that they were going to want him to do like a Back to the Future song. Like that would be the title
Not
of
just
the
like
song.
an original whatever
Correct.
song.
And he agreed. He said, listen, if we write something that we feel like that would be good for the movie, and it would be obviously a good commercial success based on not because it says Back to the Future, then all right, we'll do something. And turned
I
out
would
pretty
think
well.
that movie helped them out a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he did.
That's how I know Huey Lewis in the News.
Was that their breakthrough? Was through that movie?
For me,
or
that was the first. But I thought the song was catchy. I really liked the movie, like most everybody else did. But yeah, it's got a good sound to it. It just sounds it just reminds me of my childhood.
I feel like I remember hearing that like the expectations for that movie were not very high, and then it ended up being obviously a huge deal.
Yeah, and what was either not the conspiracy, but the alternate plot of the movie that got shot down?
Well, no, I mean there's this one guy that has given a one of the original storylines was Doc Brown.
I love how Pat finds this stuff. It's so good.
So Doc Brown, who was a science teacher for Marty McFly. So the question was, how did they become such close friends?
It is a good question because it does seem kind of creepy.
It does, yeah.
They hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if this was I don't know what the theory was, or maybe it was in a script and maybe they changed the script. But according to the story that I read, it was that, let's say Doc Brown.
I'll say it. This is the one I remember. Doc Brown was the grower.
Correct.
And Marty was his dealer.
He was the distributor.
He was dealing the weed.
He was the distributor.
I mean, based on the characters in the movie, though, I could.
And the way that Doc Brown acts.
Doc Brown, you don't think that guy?
He was definite, absolutely.
So yeah, that was one of the original scripts that because you were trying to explain, and then the one that we actually got never really went into detail how they.
I found it very interesting too. Marty got to kind of come and go as he pleased. He had a lot of freedom for a high school kid, a lot more freedom than I have. And then his parents, do they know he's going out and hanging out with his teacher at his house at night? A lot of red flags here.
That's just Marty.
If you remember, Eric Stoltz was the original Marty McFly, and they had actually started filming the movie, and they just didn't like him at all. And then they brought in Michael J. Fox. So Michael J. Fox wasn't in the original.
I did not know that. Worked out very well for him.
It did.
Somebody asked him, should they attempt a fourth Back to the Future or just leave it alone?
I'm sure they'll do one. But they shouldn't.
The last one was the Wild Wild West, wasn't it? Weren't they?
I think so.
They were in the Old West?
Yes, you're right.
Because there's 3 of them, right? Yeah.
Collins, I thought about this. So Back to the Future was the original Breaking Bad. That's good.
I mean, yeah.
Minus the meth.
Well, in that one, the teacher's learning from the student.
That's right. Bug Guy. Doc Brown was not Marty's science teacher. He was just a local crock pot research scientist that everyone in town thought was an idiot except Marty.
That might have been in the original script where he was a teacher at the high school.
Yeah, we were going with the alternative script.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that he was his teacher, but thank you, Bug Guy. Appreciate it. Trip says Landrum Lake Tahoe is awesome both summer and winter. I have a Squall Olympic hat. Yep. I've been out there both times, and yeah, you're right. Right there on the lake or staying next to the mountain. Get a lot of bears out there. Where we were staying, apparently the night before, one of the bears, and they had the motion censored doors, just came into the lobby, and they showed us the footage.
Never thought about how that could be a problem, places like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Grabbed a couple of the Spunkmeyer muffins and headed out.
I guess it's a good thing there's nobody in there.
And knocked over a few things, but
Just doing bear stuff.
something to eat. Oh, and please, the curious case of Benjamin Buttons from Molly to watch. She's going to love it. Promise. Thanks. God bless. God bless you.
I feel like we've had a number of people requesting that movie from Molly. Maybe that can be the next one.
Bug Guy adds that Brendan Sorsby was in the original script. He got an almanac in part 2 and bet on Texas Tech football. Thank you. Posey says, if you're going to get tickets, you want to get tickets to the next game. The problem is, given our history and how pessimistic I am, I would be worried to wait.
Yeah, but maybe that is a good theory in terms of, people are already spending that much money to go to the game. Like, well, let's just wait until we get to the round of, if we get there, and then go all out for that one. Maybe. Steve
Tex, happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah, for those that
I thought that was yesterday or the day before.
I thought it was like a week ago. I can never remember.
All right, so for those that don't remember, 1999, the Mets released six-time All-Star Bobby Bonilla. $5.9 million was remaining on his contract. Instead of getting the balance in full, Bonilla agreed to a deferred payment proposed by the team at 8% interest. So remember that, 8% interest. He would defer the money for 10 years, so he did not get paid anything from 2000 through 2010. But then in 2011, that's when the payments started. He would earn 8% interest and receive annual payments for 25 years. So he goes 10 years without getting a dime. And then in 2011, through the next 25 years, he will get roughly $1.19 million of the $5.9 million original, but then you compound the interest. That's where it comes out to just a ridiculous amount of $29.8 million. He now lives in Florida, which means he pays no state income tax on any of this money.
Brilliant.
He's not performing any job services in the state of New York, where before he had to pay taxes because he worked in the city of New York. So he gets to keep the vast majority of his nearly $1.2 million deferred paycheck free of state and local income taxes because he lives in Florida.
So I guess the next generation, they'll have Ohtani Day?
Possibly.
With his Dodgers contract.
Possibly. So, yeah, Bobby Bonilla Day, man. Just the Mets, their history, man. Something else. 8% interest off of a $5.9 million deal that they had left.
So you're basically giving them a loan and they're paying interest on the money that they owe you.
For 10 years. So like for 10 years, they're like going, hey, we'll take that $5.9 million and we'll reinvest in other players because, you're not going to be a part of this team.
So it'd be the opposite of a home equity line where you're actually paying interest on your own money if the equity in the house is your.
And you said, so instead of them just paying the $5 million up front, they now will have paid a total of $29 million.
$29.8 million instead of $5 million.
And I mean, I know salaries were smaller back then, but still, I mean, $5 million wasn't like, you're not signing a all MLB guy for $5 million a year.
And I don't mean this disrespectful because maybe he was the one that crunched the numbers, Bobby Bonilla, but whoever got in his ear and said, this is a good idea, let's do this.
Good on him.
The only hesitation I would have, well, it just depends. How much did he have socked away when he signed that deal?
Mm-hmm.
Because my only hesitation would be not
getting paid for 10 years?
Yeah.
But see, think,
what if you don't make it 10 years?
Yeah, well, I was about to say that's a risk.
You have to have it written up in your will where that check's going to go to whoever you're leaving your stuff to?
Yeah, your estate, your family.
And the thing of it is, he was 36 years old when they released him because he'd already been with the Mets before.
When did he play with the Braves? Because a listener had reminded me he played with the Braves. I'd totally forgotten.
Yeah, when he left New York. When New York, this money that we're talking about, he left New York and went to Atlanta. And then he went from Atlanta, and his final contract was with the Cardinals. So after Atlanta, he played with St. Louis. But he came up with the White Sox. Then he went to Pittsburgh. Then he was with the Mets. Then he went to Baltimore. Then he was with Florida. And then he went to the Dodgers. And then he circled back to the Mets again. And then the Mets cut him, but he had the $5.9 million left. Cut the deal on them. Comes to Atlanta when he was 37 and then finished up at age 38.
Now he just walks to his mailbox once a year.
Not bad.
Not a bad gig. Good for you, Bobby.
Not at all.
And we continue. We do have Pat Ponders, the worst thing I've seen. All of that and more of your text. We appreciate it. 3-Man Front on this Wednesday.
It is 1:23. Welcome back in on the Wednesday edition of Jock's 3-Man Front. We'll be here tomorrow. If you missed any of our interviews, SEC Mike really stirred things up. Ben Portnoy from the Sports Business Journal, Wimp Sanderson, a special Wednesday appearance since we won't be here on Friday, and Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider went over a lot of Big Ten win totals today. So if you missed any of those interviews, you can download the 3-Man Front podcast. Take us along wherever you go. I know many of you are heading down to the Gulf of America for the weekend or maybe the lakes. So you can always take us along with you no matter where you are. Download the podcast.
Yeah, and we always appreciate your interaction here on the show. A lot of folks traveling and hopefully texting safely, hands-free, or whoever's there in the car with you texting us. We always appreciate it. We appreciate Michael chiming in, saying also on July 1st, the first ever PG-13 movie, Red Dawn, was released.
Red Dawn. How about that? Also, 5 years ago today, do you guys want to take a guess at what happened 5 years ago today? See, a lot of things happen.
What happened 5 years ago today?
Is it sports related?
Absolutely. 5 years ago today.
Was that when Washington and Oregon or USC and UCLA joined the Big Ten?
That is incorrect.
Was it Texas and Oklahoma when they announced that?
Nope.
Ronnie Marchant went out of business.
For the 17th time. It was the 5th anniversary of him going out of business for the 17th time.
Not kidding, y'all.
This is for real.
It's real this time.
5 years ago today, the NCAA started allowing athletes to monetize their NILs.
Wow.
5 years.
Say 500 years ago today? That's what it feels like.
We have come so far in 5 years.
Isn't that amazing?
Have we?
5 years.
Well, in terms of...
There's just a lot more problems and headaches. Now, the athletes, they're benefiting.
I was about to say, I didn't mean it in a good way. I just meant in terms of we've come a long way in 5 years.
Think about it. It started as a third-party endorsement deal. That's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, this is when you had the Bo Nix, Milo's
Sweet
stuff
tea.
and all that fun stuff. Yeah, and here we are.
Bug Guy says, leaving for a vacation for a few days. I'll miss y'all. Be back for Soho Day on Tuesday. All right, cool. Thank you. We appreciate it, Bug Guy. Have fun on vacation. Be careful. Jason says Doc Brown's dog was named Einstein. That's right. Back to the Future. Somebody threw out Tim Howard's name.
Yeah, former goalie.
Mm-hmm.
For what? What'd they throw his name out for?
I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, he was a great goalie for United States.
What was Lawless? Was he a goalie? No.
No. Mm-mm.
What about Miola? Tony Miola was, I think.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I wasn't really, no offense, I knew you weren't probably alive. Yeah, he was goalkeeper. He tried out for the Jets, I think, to be a field goal kicker.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and the character that played Doc passed away this past year.
Oh, that's sad.
Lloyd.
That's very sad.
Very talented actor. Dylan from Jasper, firecracker safety, just light the fuse and walk away. Or put it in a reverse. It says Terry.
Oh, no.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah, it's the meme.
The guy in the wheelchair. Oh, come on, Terry, put it in reverse.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a classic. Have you ever had a close call with fireworks? I did one time.
Yeah. I couldn't hear. I had a bottle rocket my cousin shot at my face, which is always nice, and exploded right in my ear. I could not hear, I think, until the next day. It was kind of touch and go there for a second.
Yeah,
and
that's a little scary.
And it's like I could taste the fire in my mouth. It was bad. I think he got a pretty good belt for that one. What about you guys?
Yeah, I had one time where it was it's one of those fireworks that you it had something you set in it to where it would like stabilize it and then go off. Yeah. And we'd been drinking and kind of didn't go in the way that it was supposed to go in, and it went off outside of the container. Yes. And it was If we were a couple feet closer, it probably wouldn't have been very good. Maybe not Jason Pierre-Paul stuff, but like it wouldn't have been good.
Pat, you strike me as somebody when you were younger, you like to light a fuse.
I did. Fortunately, I never had those type of incidents that you guys were referring to. I did have something happen to my youngest son, and something had gone off and kind of messed his hand up, had got some burns on his hand. So that was kind of a scary. We didn't have to go to the emergency room, but wife took care of it. But yeah.
Was it Pierre-Paul?
Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul that blew a couple digits off.
Was that an M80 or something like that he was
I
working with?
forgot what it was, but it was, yeah. You got to be careful.
Right there when you're going down the Beach Expressway where Buc-ee's is, they've got the brick and mortar fireworks store that's open 363 days a year. They'll let you know. It's nice. Trip saying, yes, bears are normal there, talking about Tahoe. We had a bear. They knew how to open the slider in the fridge. One time I was face-to-face with him, scared him off, scared the crap out of me. I bet it did. Jimmy asking, we saw Walker Kessler got the trade in the new contract.
Yep. His and lo and behold, his new teammate now, it was announced today as well, is going to be Colin Sexton.
Interesting.
Walker Kessler making a few more bucks than Colin Sexton is, but they will be on the same team.
John Saber, this is good. England is the college football equivalent of Texas A&M or Notre Dame. Always hyped and can't seem to win it all.
It was interesting. Entering today's game after halftime, England had never won a World Cup match when they were trailing at halftime until today.
Wow.
They had played 9 times. They had come out of halftime behind, and they had never won until today. 0 for 9, pretty good.
Ooh.
And got the win.
Yeah, good turnaround.
Yeah, for sure. All right, appreciate all of your texts. We do have questions from Pat. We're going to try to answer responsibly. Pat Ponder's on the way. 135, 3-man front. England a winner over the Democratic Republic of the Congo, 2-1 in Atlanta. Speaking of Atlanta, the Braves and the Cardinals, they will play tonight at some point. Good news for Cardinals fans. Bad news for the Braves because we got to play again after losing last night 5-3. Now only 2.5 games up in the National League East over the Phillies and the fast-approaching Marlins right behind the fighting Phils. Stark Exterminators, that's who you need to call for all of your pest control needs, whether it's the stinging, flying, biting kind, or just kind that maybe they serve a purpose in the ecosystem, but they don't belong in your house and in some parts of your yard, and they certainly don't belong on your family. Stark can take care of you. 62 years they've been family-owned and operated. That tells me something. That should tell you something. I know it resonates with a lot of folks around here. It's just doing business with folks who've done it for a long time. You can trust them. 855-STARK now, or go to StarkExterminators.com. They're going to ask a lot of questions. They're thorough. They're going to take care of you. 855-STARK now, go to StarkExterminators.com. Always tell them Landrum from Jocks sent you. Pat's got questions. We try to answer those. This is a segment that we call Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponder.
All right, question number 1. Now that we're in the middle of the knockout stage, what are your 2 biggest takeaways from the tournament so far in the World Cup?
Ooh.
Could be off the pitch, on the pitch.
I think one of my takeaways is just how much skill, and it doesn't matter the team, but how much the skill is evenly distributed. Not necessarily parity, but I thought it was going to be. I've just seen a lot of good players, even for some of these teams that are not so-called ranked in the top 16. That would be one of my takeaways. It's just the level of play, even from the teams that they got bounced early. They still got a lot of dudes.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, you already knew they were awesome, but I think just the stage that it's been set on, the way that some of these games end, especially when they get to penalty kicks, like that might be now like my favorite way to watch a sporting event end. Just like the pressure that's on it in the situation and in the moment, and the isolation that you face. I don't know. It's very cool because it essentially takes a team sport to an individual sport with everything on the line. I think that's very cool.
The other thing I was going to add, though, was moving away from the ball and how physical play is.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really think about soccer being, but a lot of those guys in just position, and you're not even seeing it. We're not seeing it. A lot of times you'll catch it on the replay where a guy's just cut in half, and the first thing that hits is his head.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they definitely flop sometimes, but there are other times where you're like, yeah, that really that really messed you up. I think the other thing, and it's maybe just because we're not used to it as much, maybe you see it more in basketball than any other American sport, but how much of the strategy, especially late in some of these games, I think we talked about this the other day, is like so defensive. Like there's so much strategy in soccer that goes to just trying to kick the ball as far away from the other team as you can, or kick it out of bounds. And I don't know, I guess it's just like a very different, I don't know, it's just a different philosophy of playing than we're used to seeing, especially like in American football and stuff. Like you're just used to seeing teams like be very aggressive a lot of times, and especially late in games trying to put up points on the board and just trying to win instead of, we'll hold out for the extra time. I'm not worried about it. Like, I just feel like you get a lot of that in soccer.
Yeah, you
it's
mentioned
very defensive minded.
You mentioned the strategy. I forgot which game I was watching, but they had 5 straight corners. There's 5 straight corners, but the other team, they were going to set up, they were going to defend there in the middle. They were not going to score off that corner. You were going to have to try a different approach.
Yeah.
So the guy ends up doing it. He flies everybody. The ball goes out of bounds, and then the other team, they get the possession. So, case in point of strategy paying off. Yeah, but the physicality, just the locking out arms.
Yeah.
Like you're battling for a rebound in the lane. I don't watch a whole lot of soccer.
Also, probably the biggest takeaway is like we're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
See, my takeaways have nothing to do with on the pitch.
Okay, good.
It has to do with Japanese fans, how incredible they were cleaning up afterwards.
Oh,
yeah.
And the Norwegian fans.
Yeah.
And their chants and their cheers.
And how
That's my
coordinated
two
they
big
are.
takeaways.
Yep. Those are good.
Yeah.
All right, question number 2. Going back to 1936, 30 football programs have shared 101 national championships. So think about that.
So in 90 years, 30 teams have won a title, and that's it.
Correct.
Okay.
That's it. With that being said, which of these never-before national champions could be the next Indiana or win their first title? Iowa State, Virginia Tech, Texas Tech, or Oregon?
I want to say Oregon.
That's the temptation.
It is. The money for Texas Tech, though,
The
like
money
it feels
is-
like eventually.
And maybe the path of least resistance leading into the college football playoff. Yeah. I'll go Texas Tech.
See, that's why I'm leaning, because my thing with Oregon is they've had so many opportunities as of like in the past.
You go back Chip
20
Kelly,
years?
2010.
Yeah, like, and it just
Helfrich, I guess.
it almost feels like one of those things where like they're just not meant to. Like they're meant to be really, really good pretty much every year, but just for whatever reason not good enough to
Florida State baseball.
actually do it. Yeah, or North Carolina baseball. Like
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, the money for Texas Tech though, you can't compete with that.
I think we all agree Iowa State probably a no.
No.
But listen, I would not put out of
With James Franklin?
the realm of possibility of Virginia Tech coming out of the ACC. I'm not saying this year.
No, but they play in
just
the
saying-
ACC.
See, it's kind of the thing with Texas Tech. Now, they don't have the money, but in terms of having a much easier path to get to a playoff, maybe.
I mean, heck, SMU,
But
look what
why
they
not
did a couple
Virginia
years
Tech?
ago.
Virginia Tech has come as close or closer than anybody else on that list.
Yep.
Oregon
Yep.
would be there. I don't know if Texas Tech's ever.
Oregon's lost a couple of national championship games
Mm-hmm.
to Ohio State and Auburn.
But Virginia Tech, when Beamer had it rolling.
Yeah. Bud Foster in the defense. Very good.
They go toe-to-toe. Was it Florida State?
Mm-hmm. Sure
Title
was.
game.
Now Oregon's going to go win the championship.
Franklin's going to do a good job. He just really annoyed me when he was at Penn State. And I think part of that was because he was at Penn State.
Fair.
All right. The final question today comes courtesy of BB. And she writes, a new fad is taking South Korean youth by storm as the teenagers are spending countless hours using online shopping apps, placing one order after another. However, none of them either received the things that they buy, which is okay because none of them were paid for by anything. So let me explain. The apps are actually fake. They're called dopamine apps, and they're used to stimulate the online shopping experience to a T. Users get the full experience from browsing products and following bogus delivery notes without having to spend actual money.
Oh, my gosh.
Does your online shopping experience give you a dopamine hit? Assuming you're actually spending the money, do you frequently online shop and rack up items in a cart only to abandon it at a later date, hence triggering your dopamine?
No, I don't do that. And online shopping after this last order, you guys know, early June, it's somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
In China. Yeah. I did not realize it was coming from China until I placed the order. I'm convinced that it's never.
Has it cleared? Did it clear your credit card? I mean,
no.
Oh, it hasn't.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yoon Express has received the whatever. And if you work there and know somebody, I got a jersey I really need. There can't be that many people in Alabama that ordered that jersey.
I don't know, Landrum. You never know. That is very unfortunate for you. I don't. I guess a lot of time when I do online shopping, it's more necessity thing. So it's like I kind of have to buy this. Like I bought something during a commercial break. Like I needed like poop bags for my dog, and I just remembered that, and I was like,
"What are you gonna say with that?"
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, well, let me go see it on Amazon. Okay, I can get 300 of them for $12. Done." Like, it's stuff like that where I don't get like a rush from doing that. It's like, oh, it's convenient.
But I will say this, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying it. My wife will do that. She won't buy the stuff, but she enjoys doing the shopping, just not the purchasing online.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my wife does that more often than I do. But yeah, you'll go on, Amazon or something and be like, oh, there's 20 things that have been saved for later. Yeah. I'm not a big shopper in general.
Does your wife shop a lot online?
Not a ton. No.
I'm just
more than me, but not a ton. She's not a shopaholic, thankfully.
So BB has really opened her eyes on a couple of scenarios. Remember, she talked about the practice dating that apparently is going on with people?
Yeah, see, stuff like that is...
And so now it's, let me go shopping, but I'm really not shopping just so that I can get a dopamine hit.
And maybe that does really help some people to avoid going into financial ruin by just doing the fake app thing. But, like, I feel like it's just sad that that's where we are as a society.
Yeah.
More than anything, that you can't control those urges, or that's like what you would choose to do in your free time is fake shop to feel something.
You just asked me that and I answered the question. I was just double checking right now to make sure I didn't get charged for that jersey.
Has it?
Oh, so you never got charged for it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still inconvenient, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Because I'm feeling that'd be a hassle.
I started reading online and you had responses. Apparently other people have dealt with the same thing. And
from the same
if I
vendor?
had known that was the setup, I would have paid the extra money not to have to deal with this. First world problems. Mm-hmm. Get over it, Roberts. All right. That is Pat Ponders for today. He sees good. He sees bad. Coming up next, Conrad has seen something bad, but maybe it's going to help you or someone you know. Three-Man Front continues on Jocks.
It is 1:51 here on Jocks. Don't forget the USA against Bosnia tonight, 7 o'clock kickoff from Santa Clara. If you've noticed cracks in your walls, uneven floors, or moisture building up in your crawl space, don't wait until that small problem becomes a major expense. You need to contact the foundation and moisture protection experts at Deep South Construction Pros. go to their website, deepsouthconstructionpros.com. Deep South is a family-owned company with Alabama roots specializing in foundation repair, waterproofing, crawl-space encapsulation, and moisture control. Whether it's wood rot, mold, settling foundations, or water intrusion, their experienced crews fix the problem at the source and protect your home for the long haul. Get started today, deepsouthconstructionpros.com. That's deepsouthconstructionpros.com. Deep South Construction Pros, your home, their commitment.
If you're planning on exploring, maybe taking an adventure this summer, that's great. That's wonderful. I encourage you to do so, but you got to do it safely. That brings us to the worst thing that Conrad has seen.
This is the worst thing I've seen.
Been in quarantine, and I need to get out and party. Woo! What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, it can't get better than that. Law enforcement's definitely made their visitability and made people chill out and not be as crazy.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
All right, for this story, we head to the state of Florida, where unfortunately a tragic accident happened this past Sunday as a 31-year-old woman by the name of Brittany Clark was hiking and swimming with her boyfriend and best friend at Little Big Econ State Forest, about 30 miles inland there in the state of Florida, when she was fatally mauled by a massive alligator after kneeling down in 3 feet of water. According to reports from the boyfriend, he was trying to, pull his girlfriend away from the alligator when it unfortunately bit off her arm, and due to the massive amount of blood loss that she suffered in the accident, she later on passed away. So according to a spokesperson with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, they reported that the group were hiking and stopped for a quick swim when the 31-year-old was bitten on both of her arms. The boyfriend then tried to remove her from the alligator before making a phone call to the hospital, and unfortunately she did pass away once taken to the hospital and trying to recover from her injuries. So a very sad situation there. Apparently a 12-foot and 13-foot alligator were both found in the area by wildlife officials. They were captured after the attack and euthanized, and have had, I guess they were sent off to labs for more readings to try to determine which one was responsible for the fatal attack. But it's actually the third attack in a recent string there in the state of Florida. So a couple of days prior, you had a young child who was bitten by an 8-foot alligator while on a fishing trip with his dad. Fortunately, he survived that accident, but you also had a 19-year-old that was bitten on the neck by an 8-foot alligator while snorkeling in Rainbow River prior to the fatal attack on Sunday as well. So 3 bad alligator attacks, one of them fatal in the last couple of weeks there in the state of Florida. But yeah, very scary scene there for the 31-year-old.
And I hate to be critical because we have a tragic loss of life, and I hate it, but I just naturally assume that any fresh body water, especially a tributary in the state of Florida, I'm assuming there are gators in there. Not one, but multiple gators in there.
You know, and it's just like around my house, around my area that I have to keep up.
Right.
I just assume if there's any tall weeds or bushes, that there's probably a rattlesnake in there. Like, I don't go venturing off in there. And if I do, I make sure that I got some, you know.
Yeah, you need some snake chaps or.
Got something on to make sure that if something jumps up and gets me, you know. That's just an assumption based on where we live. So
be careful out there.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us. A lot of stuff to talk about. Go USA. Team USA. Let's get it done. It'll be a fun Thursday.
What are
a
we
very
wearing
patriotic
tomorrow?
Thursday.
You didn't bring us any more jerseys. This is the only jersey you got us.
I'll work on that. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
Just don't order from China.
No. God is great.